my dad sent me to military school. And in 9th grade, I go to military school. And I quickly find out that these are the rules. These are the good kids. These are the kids that, like, you know, are down to, like, do shit. And I make friends with this one kid who, like, is looking for coke. And I remember telling him, like, dude, I'll bring coke next time, like, go down home. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, like. And I remember I went down home and I would bring a quarter and, like, my protein thing, I'd, like, dig it up and I, like, stuff it down there. And they would, like, search you, but not that well. And then in military school, I could sell a line of coke for $20 because you can't get anything.
Nowhere.
So it's like, that's kind of what I started doing. And one night I couldn't sleep. And I remember I was, like, doing all this coke, and I had, like, probably, like, an 8-ball or a quarter left. And I was like, man, I don't want to be up all night miserable doing little bumps. And, like, I have to be quiet because it's, like, the middle of the night. So it's, like, really miserable doing coke, and you can't, like, snort.
You can't cut it.
Yeah, you can't be loud.
Nothing.
So it's just, like, and, like, the door's open. And, like, you know, the sergeant's, like, walking back and forth. So I'm, like, scared. And then this kid, he tells me, I know he did pills. So I'm thinking he's going to give me something to go to sleep, like Xanax. And he gives me an Oxy 40 and 2 Roxys. And I remember he said, like, don't do a whole Roxy and do half the 40. Don't do a whole pill. And I went back to my bunk and I did all 3 pills. And, like, some people can die from that. It's 2 Roxy 30s and an Oxy 40. And instead of going to sleep, I was actually more sped up. And I was, like, talking on the phone, and I couldn't sleep all night. And I was, like, cleaning my room, and you know, I just had all this energy, but it was, like, different than cocaine. And then the next day, I, like, puked like crazy. And when I went back home to buy coke, every time I would buy coke, people were talking about these pills. Everybody was talking about Roxys and Oxys. Year? This is 2004.
That's the party started with Opiate. South Florida was the circus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we had more pain clinics than McDonald's.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
True fact.
Broward County dispensed more pills than some states combined.
Yes.
The county alone.
It was crazy. So, I'll tell you my story. 2004, I got a car accident on Plantation. 585, police officer was chasing another car. It came right across me. And I herniated disc. And one of my buddies, the mortgage company I used to work with, he was doing everything. He goes, man, KB, you have an MRI? I go, yeah. Bro, come with me. I got you, bro. So he went to across the street, doctors. He goes, when you go walk in, you say your back's hurting, and doctor, I'm in pain. He'll give you what he give you. You give it to me, and we'll have some fun. Bro, I swear to you, Brian, again, I do the worst acting in the world. The guy gives me, I think, like 100 blue 30s. Pharmacy, 1, 2, 3, out. Yeah, you know what? There's another doctor office across the street. And at that time, the system wasn't there. So you can, your doctor
they had in the database.
Dude, I got robbed. I almost got killed. Gun pulled up on me. And right in front of my eyes, man, you see history being made. Right? Opiates was, I think, probably cocaine in the 80s was the hardest, cocaine cowboys. In 2004, 2005, 6, 7, 8 was, I think, the opiates. Yeah,
well, you had cocaine with like the cartel and the CIA and Rick Ross and, like, all this stuff.
The real Rick Ross.
Yeah, and the crack epidemic. Then you have the Vietnam War, where that brings in opiate addiction, but that opiate addiction is really for, like, no one's really shooting drugs unless you're, like, a hardcore drug addict, you know? So people shooting drugs and on heroin, there was no sympathy for them because it was like, dude, what did you think was going to happen?
Yes.
And then there was some sympathy for the soldiers because they went overseas, and now you have, you know, people who are supposed to be, like, you know, revered or whatever, like honorable men doing heroin, sneaking heroin through, like, the dead bodies and all this crazy stuff. And then you have, like, Frank Lucas and all these people, you know, bringing heroin from over there. And then you have Purdue Pharma and all these pharmaceutical companies that are coming out with opiates marketed as non-addictive, marketed as, you know, a safe drug.
Yes.
And commission-based selling of pharmacies.
FDA,
you know,
checked them off.
Yeah, and they checked them off. And now you have middle of America, upper middle class, white, blue collar,
lawyers, doctors,
anybody, you know, getting addicted to essentially heroin, and then you have the implementation of the database where you can no longer doctor shop. But all that means is that you just get a homeless person and pay them $50 to use their ID, and then you're having people doctor shop for you, and then you have a list of people that go. Then you have the discontinuing of Oxycontin. So now Oxycontin is no longer made, and they make like this one that you can't really snort. Then people start going to Dilaudid because Dilaudid has been around forever. But Dilaudid is not really that great to snort, and it's really something that you're supposed to shoot.
Yeah.
So now you have a lot of people who would never shoot up heroin.
They're doing it now.
Now they're shooting Dilaudid, and then when you're in that game of IV drug use, somebody's going to suggest, hey, instead of spending $40 for a Dilaudid, why don't we just spend $5 in Overtown? It's going to do the same thing. Now you have a whole generation of hundreds of thousands of people who were lied to at the doctor, forcefully put on medication that they never should have been on in the first place.
No business being on it.
No business being on it. Then that medication is harder to get, so then they're pushed to do another medication like Dilaudid, and then they're pushed even more so to do heroin, and now you have the generation of heroin addicts, and now fentanyl, and then it even goes crazier to like what's going on in Kensington now, where they have like flesh-eating, like
saw that
crazy
go to
crazy
YouTube,
stuff.
we put that in there.
Yeah, it's crazy.